It's true. We are fans of all things Disney, speaking for myself.
Oh, definitely.
Speaking for you. And I'm really delighted to announce that we have brand new Disney products. We've been a licensee since 1997, and it's been a while since we've had new things. So papers and die cuts are just hot off the press, literally.
And adorable. We're featuring Magic Kingdom and Princess. And there's just all kinds of techniques and things you can do with this. And they're so much fun.
And scrapbookers, stay tuned because we've got lots of pages to show you. Come play with us. And ta-da, here they are. These are the princesses, papers and die cuts. We'll show you that in a minute. Let's go to the happiest place on earth.
The Magic Kingdom.
And we'll start with the papers. These are 6 by 6. There are 18 sheets. They are double-sided, and you simply pull them out of the book, just cut along that line. And as you can see, there are 2 of each design. So that allows you to do double page spreads.
And there are some fantastic designs in here.
It's very, very fun. And we'll show you these in the projects also. And
Magic Kingdom die cuts. These are great. There's 132 of them in here. And what's great about these is that they are a lot larger than most die cuts you've seen from us. There are 5 to 6 inches. And the paper, the weight of the cardstock is a little bit lighter than, I would say, our Artful Card Kit.
Right,
But there's lots of different images to choose from. You've got Mickey, you've got Minnie. Some of the die cuts you can pop out and foam tape right back on top of the image for a little bit of a 3D effect. Lots of different things to choose from. You can use them from scrapbook pages. And right in the center here, we've got lots and lots of ideas to do. The things that you're going to be seeing today, the projects, most of them you're going to find right in here.
Right. So let's get started with those.
Let's see a project.
And here is our first. This is a double page 6 by 6 layout. And what I love about the papers is that they've got art on them, but also there's room for your photographs and your journaling. So you can see the castle is ghosted back, so you can let it be seen, or you can do some journaling on top of it.
And this is great. This is an actual trip to Disneyland on this page. This is great.
So you could have them like this, or of course you could choose to have them like that.
Like that. Add a few dazzles. I have some. There's some jewel dazzles on here, and Best Friend. That's from the dazzles as well.
Now this is another sheet, and this has been placed on our Sarah Surface 6 by 6 album. It's been painted with the ivory color, and wow, it just didn't need much. This is the sheet, and this is the big Ferris wheel.
Right. There are no die cuts on here. This is just all the paper, the little bit of ribbon and a tiny bit of journaling, and there you go.
That works out.
And that's what we're going to put those scrapbook pages on.
Right. And here is another die cut, this ticket book. Now again, this is the whole die cut, and it was used to cut other pieces of cardstock in the same size and used to make a little mini book. So very clever.
Great idea.
Punch some holes.
Ribbon at the top. It's so cute.
This is the Ta-Da Mickey, and you can see you talked about some pieces that you could foam tape on top. Well, here they are.
Right. So you get a little bit of dimension when you do that.
And we just covered a composition book with the this is the Happy Days paper, and added our Mickey and our Ta-Da. All of these are the die cuts.
Right. And I love this red rickrack right on the edge. It fits perfectly.
Adds a punch. Now what's fun is the versatility of these die cuts. So here it is on a composition book. You can imagine it on a scrapbook page. Here it is on a shaped card. So what's been done is you can see that you can't see a straight edge. So what was done was to place, you want to bring that in?
Yeah. So here's a blank card. Here's the fold up at the top. And what you want to do when you do this is take one of your die cuts and just make sure that you go off the edge a little bit at the top, because you're going to cut out around this shape, and you don't want to cut off all of the fold. You want to have some of that fold left over.
That way it can open.
That way you'll still be able to open your card. And you can do this with many, most of the die cuts you can do them just in this manner.
Right. So you don't have to be stopped because there isn't a straight edge, but there's our ta-da Mickey covering the inside, and this is a great celebration. Congratulations, anything you like. Works
That is
so well.
cute.
Very, very charming. And we have now another. So here's our Minnie. There's even a little tag. There's the I love you. You can.
This is such a simple page. There's just a little bit of paper and a couple of the die cuts, and that's really all you need.
And what I love is taking the same die cut and using it. And now in this case, we didn't make a shaped card. Lene just foam taped her on top of a covered card. We've got dazzles around it, and the hearts.
We've got some of the hearts on the left, a few little dazzles there. I like the jewel border dazzles. That makes a nice frame, and it matches the scalloping on that.
It really does.
Cut.
On the inside, more of the red jewel dazzles, and you can see Minnie down here with more of those hearts just right around here. We can get in close and see those hearts, because I think they just add just a really sweet little touch, as well as the shine on this card. So card makers, works for you. Scrapbookers, you can see, works for you. Now here's another example of, this is a little die cut. We just put it onto a tag, but look here, we've used the same one onto the little tin and decorated it, and again, many purposes.
So that's great. And here's the small Mickey die cut down at the bottom, or I think that was actually part of the paper. I think maybe that was cut off the paper.
One thing, too, is that you'll notice this one has graphics on it. This one is computer journaled. Every time you get an image like this that has words on it, you're going to get another die cut that is blank. That way you can computer journal on it, you can stamp on it, you can really make it say whatever you want.
You can add your own message.
Right.
What's great about this tin is that paper, that's from the paper pack back behind, and then a little piece was cut out, a strip of it was cut out, and foam taped right back on top of there, you see, so that you can get that sort of a 3D
Works really well.
look.
Do a little accordion folded piece on the inside. Again, here is another scrapbook page, and what we thought was really fun is, well, number one, the die cut is just great. It's nice and big. Of course, we've embellished it with dazzles, but it perfectly matches the chocolate paper with the swirl around the edge. It's getting close.
It's the artwork going around this brown here, the brown and tan you see back here, matches the swirls right there.
Yeah, it just seemed like a perfect fit. And we've got a Mickey Mouse True Love, the official postmark for that.
What I love about this is, here's some photos of, these are grown-ups. But everybody's a kid at heart when you start talking about Disney, so that it just goes perfectly with it. It doesn't have to be kids.
And there are so many weddings that are done at the parks that there's a whole network set up to help brides and grooms create their weddings. So very fun. You can also do gift bags, and I think this is a very fun use of the die cuts, because they're such a substantial size. Not only can you do your bag, but you can also do the little gift tag that goes with it. So we've got the Celebrate one right there at the corner.
So that's great. And there's not a whole lot had to be done to accomplish that.
Pretty quick and easy. Here is there is a Christmas tree in there with some little Mickey heads, to get foam taped on top.
And here's a tag up here. Have a very Mickey Christmas. Just
Works
tied right on there.
Here's another. Now we've done 6x6 pages, 12x12. Here's an 8x8. So just so that you can see, there's the 6x6 paper on the backing. We've got these die cut, this one and this one.
And this one has been computer journaled on right in the center of the two little Mickey hands.
Now, something else that's fun about this particular page is that this is not a page about the parks at all. This is a page about her dream of going fishing. So it works for whatever.
It does.
Never Stop Dreaming works really, really well.
Sure, this is great. I love the border dazzles going around the edges of the paper too.
Just adds so much. Let's get in really close to see that, because I'm not sure you're seeing it that far away. In person, it just adds such a shine, as you would imagine, but a really great finish.
It's a great touch.
Here is another 6x6 album. And again, here's the 6x6 paper. This die cut has been foam taped on top. And what a great celebration this is.
This is great. A little strip of the paper here with the jewel border dazzles on either side of it. And the little die cuts right there on top of the little posts on the album.
They work perfectly.
A nice final touch.
This is a 6x6 Sarah Surface portfolio, and I think this is just a brilliant way to use it. It's holding a photo CD. It could hold anything, but it's been misted in the red, and you can see, you can just open that up, tuck your CD in.
Or anything else. You could use it for mementos or anything else you like. But I love this die cut in particular. It's Minnie Mouse on a photo strip.
And look at those star dazzles, what they do just to add the star quality to it. This is our label chipboard die cut, and this has been done to decorate perhaps a little girl's room, maybe to hang on her doorknob, but you can see the die cuts and how they're used.
Right, and it's pretty simple. It's covered with Penelope paper with a strip of Penelope here, and it's matted, and this is great, just the die cuts stuck on.
This is foam taped. You can see the little Mickey in the cloud, and of course that will pop out and you get another piece. So just a really charming one.
Some little girl's going to love that. That's so cute.
Another scrapbook page, just so you can see, this is one of the sheets that you showed. So there is the little bow that has been foam taped up. And then we've got the die cut, we've got a tag, we've got more. So you see, you got a lot of pieces for any scrapbook page, card, gift bag, anything you want to do. Now,
and this is you did say the grapefruit paper pack,
I didn't,
right?
but thank you.
Okay, there you go. I love that little strip right down the center, too.
Okay, now we're going to get into the princesses. Okay, now we welcome you to the Disney Princesses. And here is the 8x8 paper. Same idea. The designs are done by princesses, though, of course, you know.
Right.
And they are all double-sided. And
so we have 4 different princesses, 4 or 5?
Yeah, we'll have to count them as we go through, won't we? Okay. Here we go. Cinderella.
I think that's 3.
And so it was Snow White. And then we've got Sleeping Beauty, Bibbidi Bobbidi and Boo. And then Ariel. And again, the backside. And this is, Snow White started. Yeah, right. So we started with Snow White. So there we go. 2 of each sheet that I just showed you, all double-sided, all 6x6.
And then the die cuts, 131. And the same as the Magic Kingdom is that there are large images.
And did you hear 131? That's a lot.
131.
Thank you.
You can use them for scrapbooking, gift bags, like we've been talking about, all these different items. But 5 or 6 inches tall, some of these large images for scrapbooking or cards, which is great.
And there'll be a large one on each page, so that's how it works out.
There's tags, there's greetings, there are all different sort of artwork images. I love these extras, these big princess tiaras. I love the snow globe. So each of the princesses are represented in here in the different die cuts.
A couple of sheets of each one.
Right, and right in the center we've got these great pages which show so many different ideas of how you can use these. And like we said, you're going to see most of these in the webisode today.
Right, so let's get into our pages. We'll start with this double page spread. These are keeping them as a 6x6 size. And as we said, you're going to get 2 for each princess, so you can do something like this with her castle. And in this case, it's visiting Disneyland or Walt Disney World.
I love that some of the photos have dazzles right on the photo. So there's a border dazzle here. I'm going to pick that up a little bit so you can see. Border dazzle and some star dazzles, a little bit of ribbon. Doesn't take much to decorate a small page like this.
It really doesn't. Now, let's go into our princesses, and what you're going to see is just how many things you can do. I think gift bags are brilliant, and love this with the jewel dazzles being the bubbles coming up. I just think that's brilliant.
Great? And then here's a large tag off to the left with some of the papers and just some dazzles tacked on.
Here is another tag that's been done, again, as a gift tag, or, you know, even if you want to turn this into a mini book. Right. And here is a very interesting and fun card. This is an easel card. So I can set this and put it behind this foam tape die cut. And that's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like. These are really super simple to make. And while the dimensions for this one in particular is going to be found on the gallery, the rule of thumb for an easel card is that the piece of paper cardstock that you're going to start with is twice as long as it is wide.
Okay.
So for this one, it's 5 inches wide and 10 inches long. It's got a score in the center, and then you go up to that top part and you score it in the center again. So that it's going to fold like that, and you're going to take your large die cut and it's going to set right on the front. I'm going to pull in the Magic Kingdom, from the Magic Kingdom. If I were going to create this as another easel card, I would just put that right on that part of the fold so that it lays down flat.
Actually, keep that here. So you can do what Lene did here, is to cover the, in her case, 5-inch square piece, put her die cut, add the extra pieces, and glue just the bottom part.
Just onto that part.
Right. Or you could do what you just showed, is just to take the die cut and simply glue it itself.
Simply glue it itself just onto that front part of that fold. And then you just take one of the other die cuts.
Foam tape it inside.
Right down to that bottom layer. And then that will just...
That's the stopper. So that's neat. Now you can take this same Ariel, put her on a gift bag, and she's going to make a beautiful little package.
And here's one of the coordinating little tags to go with that.
Don't forget to add dazzles.
Dazzles add everything. Add something to everything.
Here is an Ariel album page, and you can see that just how beautifully she fits in there. Again, that substantial size.
That's great.
Dream is here.
And I don't really see anything about Disney here in the photos, but look, that's a trip to the beach, so Ariel fits in perfectly.
Right, our little beach princess.
This is great. The little tag, shell hunt. That's a cute little journaling touch. I love that.
Very sweet. Now we'll get into Snow White, and this is on a composition book, one of our favorite projects to use. So you can see how nice and big she is. A little heart that is foam taped. We'll get in closer to see that.
Little heart up at the top.
Right.
Here's the little apple up here.
And then down here, the fairest of them all is done in 2 pieces. And the corner treatment is just some jewel dazzles. So beautifully done.
Beautifully done. Super simple, and will make somebody happy for a journal.
Right. And here is another of the little tins, the fairest of them all, Happy Birthday. So you can tuck inside, maybe there's a necklace, maybe tickets to see a movie.
Sure, some photos, maybe on an accordion folded piece of cardstock. And don't forget to decorate the edges too with dazzles around the edge.
Right.
It's a nice look.
And here's another of the Snow White die cuts. And this is on, again, a Sarah Surface portfolio. This is the 6x6. And you can see that giant die cut just resting on the flap.
This is great. So it's actually, it's put on the flap, and all of the photo CD label is stuck right on top of it too.
Just works just beautifully.
You can
very
open
striking.
It up with the whole thing.
Sure.
Great.
Now we're going to go into Sleeping Beauty, and here is a scrapbook page for her. And of course, any little girl who wants to dress up as a princess, this is going to be a perfect place to put those photos.
And her little fairy godmother die cuts are right up here.
Right. And
the little star dazzles that add to it too.
Right. And then over on the journaling, another one, Happy Birthday is what this is, the theme. And you can see here we've got another of the die cuts, and this is going on a larger album. This is an 8x8. Again, it's the Sarah Surface album, and it comes in this craft color, and then you can mist it, you can paint it.
Right.
But in this case, it was left quite naked, and simply adding the papers around her.
That's a very nice look, though. I love that large die cut. So there's your focal. You don't have to do much, but just a few more of the little die cuts just popped up on foam tape, and a little bit of ribbon.
And we've had, of course, dazzles to it. Okay, now we're going into Belle, and with Beauty and the Beast. And this is another idea. And truly I wouldn't have thought of this, but this is the die cut. It's this big piece, and it goes off the edge of a 5-inch square card.
A 5-inch square card, and it's just hanging off there in midair. That's such a great look. And then the gold jewel dazzles around here just give it a real luxurious touch.
And now this doily back here is part of the die cut. So it's all this piece. So there's this die cut. These flowers have been foam taped as well as the teapot and
They're
the cup.
just beautiful.
And I don't know if the inside was done. So happy birthday, another of the die cuts. And scrapbookers, here we have a just striking page. This is on the foil papers, and it's just quite stunning.
It is. So here's the burgundy look back here and the blue, and it's just beautiful. Matches up with this beautiful photograph of a wedding.
And again,
wedding.
those star dazzles are just playing a really nice part. This is true love.
Are we implying that this is Beauty and the Beast too?
I wouldn't even touch that at all. Here is another. This is the same die cut that we just showed you on the card.
Another way to use it.
Right. Here it is for a time for tea. And you can see the delight on Lauren's face as she visited her princess.
This is great. Don't be afraid to cover up a little bit of your photos with the die cuts, because they frame them nicely if you put them in the right place.
They do. Now, Cinderella, we have, again, as we showed you before in the Magic Kingdom set, this is the label chipboard, and it just really makes a nice piece. It's a substantial piece to hold anything, but
it's
in this case...
It's a great decoration, a wall hanging, or something you can put on a door.
And you can see how those heart die cuts have been lifted with foam tape to give some dimension, and adding the stars. Here is our carriage.
Beautiful.
And
pumpkin coach.
This is a 6x6 of the Sarah Surface album. And here is that same die cut.
Used as an autograph.
Yeah, how fun.
Great idea.
And here is the same die cut used as a card. And it's that same idea, except this time the fold is at the bottom.
Oh, okay. So in this instance... This was placed, you have to make sure your die cut is a little bit past the lower edge of your card and keep your fold on the bottom.
Right, so same idea. We've done some glittering. Stickles have been used to go over those magical
That is
streams.
just an amazing touch. Those stickles add a lot to
Don't they? And these are the foam tape die cuts, as you can see. On the inside, some of the paper and another of the die cuts. And we did show you the sheet with the snow globe.
Right.
So here it is as a card.
As a card. That's just gorgeous. And the snowflakes of the princess and all around it, foam tape above.
Now our fold over here is hidden behind that edge, and you can see it a little bit better as I open, that is sticking. I know it's white on white, it's hard to see, but that's where the fold of the card is. So you can let the die cut go over it, as we've been saying. Here's the same die cut on a gift bag. So just works perfectly.
More than one look.
Right. Here's the little tag.
This is great. A little bit of paper right behind that. I like that look.
Now, our pennants were used to create this little gem. And so if you have a princess in your house or know of one or have a granddaughter who is one, you can do this and use the die cuts.
And those smaller papers will fit on here just great. A little strip up at the top to get some contrast. And here's the die cuts adorning each one.
They are. Some crystals in there. And I thought it was fun that they looped these together and tied it instead of doing one thing that they, wiggled through.
That's just so cute.
Yeah, it works very, very nicely. So that is our trip to the Disney World.
The happiest place on earth, and it can make you happy too.